Hey guys, good morning, good afternoon, good evening. I am your Inday Gracia, and for today's vlog, we will tackle about K1 visa application process flow chart. So, my vlog is all about K1. So, I have a playlist there. You can click on playlist K1 visa application. Meron din ako dyan for adjustment status, all about my experience about K1. Tsaka meron din akong vlog about PSA documents like your birth certificate kung bakit nag-negative, for correction, and also ano yung mga dapat gawin. Okay, so let's tackle, ginawan ko siya ng actually simple presentation ng K1 visa application process flow chart. So step 1 is petitioner mails I-129 packet to USCIS. So, si petitioner or si fiancé nyo, dapat mag-fill up siya nitong form na I-129F. Okay? Tapos, dapat si petitioner nyo po is meron siyang, let's see here. Meron siyang income na 100 affidavit of support form I-864 guidelines, which is 125% of HHS poverty guidelines for most sponsors. So, meron siyang at least minimum income of $25,550 as of April 2025. Paki-check na lang din sa USCIS website kung ano yung mga bago nilang guidelines. Okay? Tapos, dapat din is to file K1 petition, US citizen, fiancé, must be a US citizen. Both parties must be legally free to marry. So, kung annulled man kayo or divorce, meron kayong dapat na mga supporting documents na papakita. Okay? Ayan. So, punta tayo sa step 1, right? Yan yun. So, including na yun yung mga dapat free to marry kayo. So, kailangan din siya na merong complete the form I-129. So, yun na yun. Fill upan yun ni petitioner at yung para din sa'yo. Number 2 is meron tayong proof of US citizenship. So, si fiancé nyo is mag-attach siya dapat ng US birth certificate niya, certificate of citizenship, certificate of naturalization, US passport bio, page, photocopy. Yon. So, yun yung number 2 na kailangang i-complete sa step 1 pa lang. Okay? Punta tayo sa 3. Proof of intent to marry. So, proof of intent to marry, yun yung signed statement. Signed statement na for both petitioner or beneficiary na legally kayo free to marry. Okay? So 4 is proof of relationship. So dito makikita yung mga gathers photos together. So i-compile niyo siya, pwede niyo siyang gawan or mag-edit kayo through Canva or whatever na yung mga collage, ganyan, with indicate kailan kayo nagkita, sino yung mga kasama niyo sa pictures, family, friends, and how many times. So, photos together. Passport stamps, kung saan kayo nagta-travel, pwede niyo rin i-attach yan as evidence, okay? Flight ticket or boarding pass. Meron ding mga chat logs, emails, any form of communication. Like for example, sa WhatsApp kayo or Messenger. So, i-screenshot nyo lang siya. Tapos, i-edit nyo lang. Not totally like all your conversation. Pwede kayong mag-pick lang ng mga 10 ba? Oo. Every month maybe. Or every for 1 year maybe. Every 3 months, ganyan, mga 3 screenshot, 3 or 5, at least meron lang mapakita. At saka affidavits from friends or family. Some agencies are actually asking this with with attorneys tawag nito yung papermhan sa attorney, ang tawag niyan. Yeah, actually, some agencies, they required affidavits from friends or family with notarized of attorney, but some, like yung nag-DIY lang, nagpasa lang sila na without notarized. So, I think it's optional. So, next is 5, passport style photos. So, ito yung dalawang kopya ng for US petitioner tsaka for beneficiary. Sasabihin nyo sa photographer na this is for K1 visa, US visa, alam nila yan. 6 is filing fee. So, kung DIY ka lang, wala kang agent, so magbabayad ka lang ng only $675. Pero kung meron kang agent, they will ask you additional payment. 7 is evidence of termination of previous marriage. So, kung ikaw ay kasal dati, like mostly sa mga foreigner, kailangan meron silang divorce decree or original o kaya yung certified true copy with stamp. Okay? Tapos, sa mga Filipino naman, kailangan yung annulment or yung certificate of finality. Sa NUMAR na merong feedback or annotation doon na null, annulled, or void na ang iyong previous marriage. Kung sa mga widow naman, kailangan din siya ng supporting documents ng death certificate. Nagpapatunay na patay na yung previous husband niyo or wife. At saka yung marriage certificate, meron din siyang naka-annotate na annulled na or divorce. Then, pang-8, proof of nationality of beneficiary. So, passport, bio page of beneficiary. Photocopy lang. At saka yung form G1145 to request for email or text notification. Actually, optional lang naman yan siya. So, dito tayo sa step 2 ng flow process. Step 2 is petitioner receives receipts from USCIS. So, dito na yung makakatanggap si petitioner ng Notice of Action or NOA1. So, waiting period time nito is 1 week to 1 month. Step 3, petitioner receives approval from USCIS. So, dito matatanggap ni petitioner yung tinatawag natin na NOA2 or Notice of Action. Matatanggap niya via email, okay? Yung step 1 ay yung NOA1 tsaka yung NOA2. And also, waiting time is 4 to 12 weeks from step 1, okay? Usually, ito is nasa fina-forward na nila yung case nyo sa National Visa Center. Step 4, ayan. Makikita natin dyan, step 4, cases sent to Departments of State. So, dito makikita natin na ang daming nagtatanong, sent to Department of State na yung sa amin, paano-ano na po yung gagawin, ganyan-ganyan. Yun nga pala guys, before kayo mag-step 4, meron akong note sa inyo na pag sa step 3, hindi kayo nakatanggap ng NOA2 or Notice of Action, usually yung case nyo are still under review or maybe it could be subject for request of evidence or RFE. Baka may mga kulang or rejection or denial. So, double check lang. So, yung step 3 nga pala is waiting time 4 to 12. Okay? So, ayan. Step 4 is, ito yung sent to Department of State. Ayan. I-ano natin, Department of State. So, dito yung NOA2 advices waiting nito is 30 days before ka mag-PI or public inquiry. So, dapat maging patience lang kayo kasi pinaprocess pa nila ito. And after that, after yung mag-PI or public inquiry, usually nakakatanggap na kayo ng step 5 yan. Petitioner receives K1 FTP or actually itong step 4 dito yung in transit, mga ganyan. Okay, so step 5, petitioner receives K1 FTP letter through email with case number or case transit yung nakalagay. Okay, step 6. Yan, step 6, case ready. So yan, kung status niyo is case ready niya, once your case shows ready on CEAC case tracker, you can actually now proceed to the next level, which is creating an account, submit the DS-160 yan, pay visa fee, schedule biometric and interview, then also scheduled medical. My tips on this one is you need first to have the actually K1 FTP, the K1 FTP, oo. Dapat naka-receive na kayo nito bago kayo gumawa ng DS-160. Pwede kayong magbayad actually through online, yung iba sa RCBC. Tsaka mas maigi na mag-book muna kayo ng biometric and interview before the appointment of medical, kasi usually ang daming di nakakakuha agad ng mga appointment for biometric and interview. Anyway, for medical, ang dali lang naman. But actually, this one guys, for medical, you need to be prepared yourself to be healthy kasi ang daming na-i-sputum nito. Okay? And actually, I have my other vlog about SLEC medical tips and how to pass the medical examination. Okay, the next one is the step 7. So tapos ka na nun lahat. Beneficiary gathers all documents and interview appointment. So ayun, dapat pinaprepare mo na yung lahat ng mga kailangang ipakita mo sa US Embassy at saka sa medical. Anyways, about also the requirements of the US Embassy interview, meron din ako dyan sa aking playlist. Alright, so yun lang po lahat yung step or K1 visa application process flow chart. So hopefully, nakatulong ako sa mga nag-DIY lang. And don't forget to drop a comment or send a message on my Facebook page, Inday Gracia. Alright, so don't forget also to subscribe on my channel para ma-notify kayo. Have a good day and bye-bye.